Hello everybody, my name is Riley and welcome back to my channel. If you are new into here, hello, I am a soon-to-be final year 6th form student studying English, Literature, Law and Sociology, and I am so excited because it is finally back to school season. Oh my goodness, this era of just like YouTube is absolutely amazing. Everybody is always making absolutely amazing back to school content, and so I am going to be hopping onto that bandwagon, or whatever the hell the saying is today, and I am going to be starting a cheeky little back to school series. So for today I thought that I would do a what do you actually need for 6th form, because I had a request for this from one of my viewers, so I figured that I would just kind of turn it into a long form video. So for the first part of this video we're actually going to be doing a reaction, which is why I'm holding my phone. We are going to be reacting to my school supplies haul, which I posted around about this time last year for 6th form. Now it was not a very big haul, I didn't go totally crazy. I definitely had very minimal amounts of stuff, but I thought that what I did buy we could go ahead and just have a look at. I'm gonna basically play what I'm gonna call like worth it or not. So I will tell you guys, do you actually need this or do you like not need this? Let's start here. So the first thing that I got is my new school bag. I got this green one from Adidas, has a front pocket, a main pocket, 2 water bottle pockets, and I'm going to be using this to store all of my things. Okay, a new school bag. Right, was this worth it? Now, I definitely think that if you want to buy a bag, that's definitely something that's worth it for 6th form. Definitely a backpack. I have used tote bags and like single shoulder bags as well, but I've always found that like I've preferred my backpack, especially because I take a lot to school. Like I was taking my laptop, my iPad, a folder, all of this stuff, water, and it all adds up and it gets quite weighty. So I definitely think having that weight on a backpack is a lot better than having it on a single shoulder bag. But this particular bag I didn't really like that much because it didn't hold everything that I needed to, and actually literally a few weeks into 6th form I ended up getting a new one that had more space. But you know, you could get away with doing this, using a bag like this, but it just depends on what you're taking to 6th form. So I definitely kind of have that in mind. What are you planning to do? Are you planning to do digital notes? Are you planning to do physical notes? Can you even bring your own devices to 6th form and things like that? So I would definitely say that investing in a backpack is worth it, but be careful about which one you buy and be considerate of what you might be bringing to 6th form. The next thing is my water bottle. I got this from Primark. It has the readings up the side and has a fruit diffuser in it, which I may use in the summer to kind of make my water a bit more refreshing. I paid £1 for this. It was on sale in Primark. A water bottle. I feel like this was definitely worth it. This particular one I ended up losing in the Christmas holidays and ended up needing to buy a new one. I found it actually a few weeks ago. It's hiding behind like this corner in the cupboard, which was really funny. I was like, where has it gone? Because I physically like have not gotten rid of it. My dad said that he didn't get rid of it, but it turns out it was just literally hiding in the corner in the cupboard. Definitely would say that this is worth it, especially if you don't like drinking from school water fountains. This one was like a really cheap one, and honestly it lasted fine. I have since like changed it and things like that. Yeah, I definitely say that that is worth it. Something else that I would add onto this is that if you are a caffeine drinker like me, I have a travel mug which I take to 6th form every single day so that I can, you know, get my fix of caffeine, especially because I don't like to have my morning routine like be too long. I like to pretty much just get up and get out of the house. So having the coffee cup to take with me means that I can still drink my cup of coffee or my cup of tea depending on like what I wanted, but I wasn't having to either buy one. That didn't stop me. I was still buying coffee like every day. That's something we're working on this year. Less coffee. I haven't actually bought coffee since May, so I'm doing really well. But yeah, definitely would kind of add that onto it, and definitely making sure that you have one that's kind of like big enough, because staying hydrated is so important for your focus, and when it gets to 6th form, focus is literally key. Like when you sit down to work, you want to sit down to work. You don't want to sit down to get distracted. I have got one clothing item that is new, and that are my trainers. So I have these Nike ones that are blue and white and black on them as well, and these are really nice. Trainers. Right, I'm gonna talk more about like clothing later. I'd say that these ones were worth it. These are really nice trainers and I still have them, and they went well with my outfits. And I feel like also making sure that you have like a nice pair of shoes, especially if you have to like walk a long time to get to school, or you have to walk a lot like around your school's campus or something like that. Just having like a nice pair of trainers, you know, splurge a little bit, treat yourself. Most people just do tend to have trainers, but I don't know. It is my 2024 to 2025 academic planner. So this is a nice pastel green one that is by the Pad brand, and I got it from TK Maxx. It was £5. It was super duper cheap. Go to TK Maxx if you are looking for nice planners. They have had such a range in my local one, and I got this one because it was cheap. Go for cheap planners. You do not have to spend so much money to get a good planner. An academic planner. Now, honestly, I'm going to say that this was not worth it for me. I actually ended up throwing this away halfway through the school year because I just was not using it. I went through phases where I used it quite consistently and then phases where I wouldn't really use it consistently. Personally, for me, I don't think that I'm very much of a physical planner. I've definitely moved to using more digital tools like Notion, Google Tasks. I was even using the notes section of my MacBook for like a long time, but I definitely prefer having things more digitally than physically because it's just a lot easier for me to see, and I just kind of prefer the aesthetic of it. But it totally depends on your preference. If you are going to buy a planner, I definitely would not suggest like splurging too much on a planner. I think I say it in the video, but I spent like £5 on this one, so I spent like near nothing on it basically. I've spent like 20 quid on a planner before and I've used it like not even that much. So if you're going to buy a planner, buy them cheap so that you have the option to use it. Unless you're like a serious planner and you're somebody who's in that routine of using it every single day, don't spend a lot on a planner basically. But this was a really nice one. I really liked it. The next thing that I want to show you is very, very simple. It is a new pack of sticky notes. Sticky notes. I would say that this is absolutely worth it. I've used most of these sticky notes, to be honest. In my folders, I use them as like subdividers. You can probably see them. Can you see them there? I've used like a lot of them for like subdividers, so I would definitely say that sticky notes are 100% worth it. When it comes to folder organization, definitely. I've used them to kind of jot a few things down here and there, but I wouldn't say you need to go crazy and buy loads. Like this was a £1 pack from Poundland and I've still got several different of like the colors still going, so that's really good. And yeah, I would definitely say that sticky notes are 100% worth it. If I've bought anything decent from this video, it's that. Those have come in really handy this year. So the next thing I bought were two refill pads. I got these from Home Bargains. I really like these ones because they have thinner lines, you can fit more on a page. The margin is pink and they have 4 holes, which even though my binder only has 2 holes, 4 holes just looks more aesthetically pleasing. Refill pads. Highly recommend these. Obviously, when you get to 6th form, you stop being supplied like your books like you do at secondary school. You need to have a way to like make your notes, so 100% you need refill pads. These particular ones were from Home Bargains. I think they were like 99p or something like that, but I didn't actually like them because the margin didn't flip on the back of it, so the margin was always on the wrong side, so I'd have to like draw a new margin, or it was an absolute pain. So I wouldn't recommend those ones. The ones that I really like are the ones from WH Smith's, especially like the bigger ones. I've tried like different paper types as well. I've tried like narrow ruled per one of my friend's recommendations, and I do definitely recommend those ones better. But just check if you're particular about your paper like me that your margin flips on the back so that you don't have to keep drawing a new margin, or it did get really annoying. But honestly, I'd say I didn't even get through that second one. I think I ended up just buying a new one. I think I've still got it somewhere. Definitely 100% need a refill pad. I'd recommend getting like a couple of the bigger ones so that when they run out, you immediately like have another one. And I usually keep this in my day folder, but I actually wasn't keeping a day folder in this video. I wasn't planning to. That was something that I introduced later on in the year. So I'm going to have a system where I handwrite my notes in class. So I tear this out, I put this in my binder, and then I will use these notes to type them up onto my Notion page so that I kind of have like a digital notes version and then a physical notes version. Did not end up doing that. Do not waste your time doing that. Honestly, I've kind of moved away from making my notes in class, and I've moved to kind of just revising the material and making kind of more what I would call revisable documents like on my computer. I don't think it's worth trying to put your notes into 2 different sections. If anything, I honestly will make like rough notes in class on my Notion on my computer, and then when it comes to revising or making revision material, I will then kind of make whatever works best for me. So yeah, honestly, if you're a paper person, great. If you're a digital person, that's also great. So be careful kind of like what you buy, but please don't waste your time doing your notes in multiple sections. Honestly, I'd recommend just having everything in a folder so that it's just there and easily accessible whenever you need it. Speaking of binders, here are my 3 binders that I got for this year. So I'm taking 3 subjects. I'm taking Sociology, English Literature and Law, and I'm so excited. So my Sociology folder is actually one that I've had since I was in year 9. So as you can see, the edges are a bit battered. I stuck something in here, ripped it out, and I had to colour over it in whiteboard. Just me highlighting the imperfections of that folder. Honestly, if you have any like big folders left over, I'd highly suggest using them. I used that one since year 9, as I said in the video, so it's literally lasted me like a long time. I made a nice label to put on them, so I just put my name, class, the exam board, and a little symbol to recognise it, and I even put the symbol on the front, so I just keep it nice and organised this way. That I definitely have found very useful. Not for any particular reason, but I just think that it looks nice. And I definitely think having like the information on the front is pretty good as well. Some people like to use different colours, but honestly, I adapted my colour system for my subject once I started, so I decided to just get the black folders. You know, pretty standard, pretty basic, I know. Go along with each of the folders, I got a pack of Asda dividers, and I've reinforced the label with sellotape so that they're not going to break really easily. Okay, 100% you need these dividers for your folder. I thought that I would get away with just needing 2 packs. No, get a pack per folder, especially where you have more content heavy subjects. What I have done is I've used those dividers to separate them into like general info, bridging work, something about homework, and then I've separated them each into the different categories of my A level. So for example, component 1A in sociology, component 1B, etc, etc. And then using my sticky notes, I'm then able to divide that big section into the smaller chapters or the smaller specific areas of the course, which I have found super duper helpful. You want to make sure that your folders are as organized as possible so that everything that you need is there so that you can easily find it and that it's not just some big jumbled mess. I would definitely recommend that. If you have paper dividers, reinforce them where you can with tape, reinforce them over where you put your hole punch in, reinforce the edges so that they're less likely to break. Honestly, it's just given me more peace of mind just knowing that everything is reinforced with plastic. Or even better, you could literally just buy plastic dividers that aren't going to break. That is everything I got for stationery because I kind of already have a lot of stuff that I can use. I'm using the same pencil case I was using last year. I have a bunch of pens that I can use and just didn't need to get anything else. I think that's a really good thing, and I'm glad that I mentioned that. You don't need to go out and splurge buying different pens if you already have stuff that's available. Just use that. It's so much better, so much more resourceful, so much better for like the environment, better for your wallet and things like that as well. And honestly, I haven't actually needed to buy any pens this year because I've just had so many just laying around, and honestly, I've been moving away from solely using like pens. So honestly, check what you have, kind of do like an inventory stock before you go out to buy any new stationery, because honestly, you don't need to splurge on all of these fancy pens and whatnot. Literally the basic jobs, go based off of your preference. So for example, if you like a particular pen better than another pen, get those particular pens so that you have a bunch of those on hand so that doing the work is a lot easier for you. Oh my god, a flipping advert. I don't even have ad revenue. No, I don't even get paid for this advert. It's a MacBook. I still cannot believe to this day that this is mine. I've had it for almost a month now, and I freaking love it. It is a 2012 MacBook Pro. This was a MacBook. Honestly, best purchase I think I made. I have solely moved to just being an Apple user, clearly, because it matches my preference. So if you don't already have a working device, that is something that I think that you should invest in. My MacBook was secondhand from a site called CEX. I think this original one, I can't remember how much this original one cost. This one did end up breaking, so I had to get a new one halfway through the school year. Literally, like halfway through the school year, I was literally like replacing so much, it's crazy. But I would definitely recommend that you have a working device. If you have tried digital notes or you want to try like physically taking your digital notes and you have the money to buy an iPad, honestly, I love my iPad. I've got my keyboard case on it so I can literally just type away at it. I'm kind of going to be gradually moving more towards just taking my iPad to sixth form, I think, because my MacBook just gets so heavy, and honestly, it was giving me like back pain. An iPad is definitely a lot lighter. And I know a lot of people who do use iPads just with like the keyboard rather than the Apple Pencil, but if you have the Apple Pencil and you like using that, then that could definitely be an option for you. But having a working device is so important, especially where everything is online nowadays, and especially when it comes to my sixth form, we use SharePoint a lot, we use our emails a lot, so just having a working device is so important. If your school allows it, that is. If your school doesn't allow it, then I'm sure that they'll have devices that you can use at school. So we have like a whole section of the computers in the library and things like that. So yeah, definitely having a working device is something that I think is important. And if you don't have the money to buy a laptop but you have an iPad, invest in an iPad keyboard case. You don't have to buy the fancy like Apple ones. There are cheap ones online. I think I paid £20 for my one, so it's a lot cheaper than spending over 100 quid on the Apple ones. And quite honestly, I feel like the one that I have is better than the Apple one, if you know what I'm saying. All right, that is a trip from memory lane right there. Okay, so I think that is everything that I would recommend that you need for sixth form. Obviously, I am not speaking on behalf of your sixth form. There may be some specific things that you are required to have as part of that sixth form, so make sure you acquire that list and that you work out what you need and what you don't need. And honestly, just have fun with this bit, but don't go too crazy. Don't spend too much money. You don't need to spend too much money, and honestly, once you get into sixth form, that's the proper experience. Don't save your money for those coffee trips because you've got the independence now. So if you have any more questions, please leave a comment. I absolutely love reading and replying to comment, and you know, don't be shy, do leave a comment. Also, please comment down below any other sort of sixth form related content that you want to see from me, because I am here all year and I am planning to just be on my grind this year while I'm revising for my A-levels and just making sure that I'm supplying you with the best advice that I can. You can go check out some of my other videos because I have a handful of advice, and also there are a few videos just kind of related to sixth form life. So if you want to see kind of what happens at the weekend or what happens during a week in sixth form, I have a whole playlist which is called really.school, I believe, and I will have that down below for you. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more sixth form content, and I shall see you all soon with a brand new video. Goodbye for now.